Question number 45. Read the given statements and select the correct option. First statement says, in human male, testes lie outside the abdominal cavity in a thin pouch called scrotum. This is the correct statement. Option 2 says, scrotum helps in maintaining the low temperature of the testes necessary for spermatogenesis. Yes, to produce sperms, the testes are held outside in the scrotum sac because our body temperature is more where sperm generation can be a retardation, right? So, both the statements are correct and statement 2 is the correct explanation of statement 1. So, our correct answer should be option number A. So, coming to the 46th question of this paper. So, this question says a chain of length L is placed on a horizontal surface shown in the figure. At any instant, x is the length of the chain on rough surface and the remaining portion lies on the smooth surface. Initially, x is equal to 0. A horizontal force P is applied to the chain as shown in the figure. In a given time interval, x changes from x equal to 0 to x equal to L. Okay, this is initial, this is final. For chain to move with constant speed. Okay. And all the options are for the magnitude of P. So, first, let's see what is happening physically. So, as the chain is pulled to the right, a length x of chain lies on the rough surface. This is on the rough surface. The remaining L minus x is on the smooth surface where there is no friction. Correct? Only the portion on the rough surface experience friction. So, this portion only x is getting friction. So, we know, first let us understand about friction. So, we know that mass per unit length is, so lambda is equal to m by L. Correct? So, mass on the rough surface is lambda x. This is for rough. And so, friction is accordingly. Okay, it will be mu lambda g, right? So, next for if we understand about the constant speed, so here in this case, as the net force is equal to 0 at any instance, so the applied force must balance the friction. So what happens? So P becomes F friction, correct? So thus what happens? Thus Px is equal to mu lambda Gx, correct? Now, as this is happening, so if we talk about the magnitude of P, so at x, at the initial moment, P, there is no part is on the rough surface. That means no friction. So P is equal to 0. As the chain moves and x increases, right? So what happens? P increases linearly with x, correct? So thus PL, just a minute, thus PL becomes mu lambda GL, correct? So here what we can understand, the magnitude of the applied force P does not stay constant. What happens? What will happen? It will increase steadily as more of the chain enters the rough surface. So thus it increases linearly. So here our correct answer should be option number. So the first option says the magnitude of P should increase with time. So first option is our answer. Question number 47. Sound travels in the form of a wave. The velocity of this wave is given by the ratio of wavelength of the wave to the time in which a particle of the medium completes one vibration. Referring to the graph, the amplitude and wavelength of the wave are, number 1 is m and number 2 is m respectively. Okay. The frequency of the wave is 3. Okay, amplitude is 1 m and wavelength is 2 m. Frequency of the wave is 3 hertz. If v is the velocity of the wave, then find the value of v is 4 meter per second. So, here amplitude. First is the amplitude. So, amplitude, what is amplitude? Amplitude is the maximum displacement from the mean position. So, from both the graphs, the crest reaches plus 5. This is all plus 5. So, amplitude is 5m. This is 5m. Next, wavelength. Wavelength. So, if you look at the position versus displacement graph, the first one, okay. So, between 0 to 40 m, the graph shows two complete waves, right? Two complete waves. So two full crest plus troughs, right? So, here 2 lambda is equal to 40 m, correct? So, lambda is equal to 40 divided by 2, that is 20 m. So, 2 is 20 m. Okay. Now, next is frequency. So, if we see the time displacement graph, the second graph, so from 0 to 10 seconds, the graph shows 5 complete oscillations. 5 complete? Actually, 4 complete oscillations. 4 complete oscillations, right? So, time for, I'll cut F here. I'll just write time for 4 oscillations equal to 10 seconds. So, T is equal to 10 by 4. So, it is 0.4. Okay. So, this is 0.4. And last is the speed of the wave. So, the speed of the wave is V is equal to F lambda. So, what is F here? F is 0.4. What is lambda here? Lambda is 20. So, that is 8 meter per second. Correct? So, our correct answer here is option number 520, 0.48. Yes, option number C. Question number 48. A student performed various experiments to investigate about the reactivities of 4 unknown metals P, Q, R, S and T. Metal P and R can react with dilute acids to produce hydrogen gas, while S cannot. If reaction occurs only in beaker 3, then the correct order of reactivity is. Okay. So, here what we can understand that P reacts with acid, that means P is reactive than hydrogen. And R also it reacts with acid, that means R is also reactive than hydrogen. So, P and R is more than hydrogen. S does not react with acid, so S is less reactive than hydrogen. From here, we can understand this. So, if we summarize this, so P and R, as they can react with acid, so they are more than hydrogen and hydrogen is more than S, because S does not react with acid, correct? So, from here we can understand S is less reactive than P, R and H, correct? Next, if we understand about the displacement reaction, so this is T dot, this is P dot, this is P dot, okay. So, if we understand about the displacement reaction, so metal, if they are put in a salt solution of any other, of a salt solution, it reacts if the metal is more reactive than the salt, Correct. So let us understand one by one in beaker 1 first. What happens? Here in beaker 1, T rod is in the Q salt. So there is no reaction. Right? So that means what? T is less than Q. Correct? In the second beaker, P rod is in the T salt solution. So no reaction again. So P is less than T. Okay? And in beaker 3, it is written only reaction happens only in beaker 3. That says P rod is in the R salt. That means P is more than R. Correct? So if we combine all this relation, so what happens? P is more than H, R is more than H is more than S from this one. Correct? From the displacement reaction, we can understand that P is more than R, Q is more than T, and T is more than P. Right? So if we combine all of this, then what we can say? That Q is more than T, is more than P, is more than R, is more than H, is more than S. Right? So our answer should be option number A. Question number 49. Select the option that correctly identifies the given species as extinct X, critically endangered Y, and vulnerable Z according to IUCN Red List. Okay, so in the first one we have lion-tailed massacre, Asiatic wild ass. So one by one I will take this. Okay, so one by one, taking this, first we have to understand what is extinct, what is critically endangered, and what is vulnerable. Extinct are the species that no longer exist. Critically endangered are the species that are extremely in high risk of extinction. And what is vulnerable? Vulnerable are the species that are at high risk of endangerment in the wild. Okay. So coming to option number one by one, I will see. Okay. First option is lion-tailed massacre. It is endangered. It is not extinct. Okay. We can still see that. Okay. Asiatic wild ass, it is near threatened. And this pigeon hawk, this is critically endangered. So our answer is not A. In B, dodo is extinct. So this is correct. Indian rhinoceros is vulnerable. So it is not critically endangered. And chinkara is the least concern. Okay, so option B is also our, it is not our option. Option D, black duck, it is least concern. Silvery pigeon is critically endangered. And red panda is endangered. It is not vulnerable. So D is also our, it is not our option. Coming to C option, passenger pigeon, this is extinct. Ivory-billed woodpecker, this is critically endangered. And bare-faced curassow, this is vulnerable. So our correct answer is option number C. Question number 50. So here, first one by one we have to see from this picture. Acha, first let's read the question. The given figure shows a typical animal cell with its components labeled as A to G. Identify the label components and select the correct statement regarding them. Okay, first let us identify the picture. First, A is the plasma membrane. Okay. B is the nucleolus. C is the centriole. D is the chromatin. E it is the nuclear envelope, I guess. Nuclear membrane. F F is the this vacuole, you can say. G are the endoplasmic reticulum. H is the mitochondria. Okay, so let us read the options one by one. The first option says the organelles are E, H, G, single membrane bound organelles which function in close coordination with one another. So this is false, correct? Because the nuclear membrane, H is the mitochondria and G is the, what is G again? Ribosome. They have individual function. They don't, their function is not close coordination. So this is a wrong statement. F organelle is responsible for the synthesis of fat inside the cell. No. A and B are fully permeable. A and B, A is the, no, how come? A and B, where is B? No, they are not fully permeable. This is wrong. Fourth, G is the site of protein synthesis. Yes, because endoplasmic reticulum, it is a site of protein synthesis. It allows hereditary message from D to get translated into protein. This is the correct statement. So our only correct statement in this question is option number D, right? So we have completed the whole paper. I hope the discussion of the paper will help you in the further preparation of your grade 2. See you in the next video. Thank you so much.